2 months after the lavish coronation of King Charles III at Westminster Abbey in London, Scotland hosted its own event on Wednesday to mark the new monarch's accession to the throne. Scotland marked the coronation of King Charles and his wife Camilla on Wednesday with a grand procession and a service of thanksgiving at St Giles Cathedral, where he was presented with the honours of Scotland, Britain's oldest crown jewels. Now, it's important to highlight the fact that this was not exactly a coronation ceremony, but had the trappings of a coronation. But the 74-year-old succeeded his mother as monarch of the United Kingdom and 14 other realms when Queen Elizabeth had died in September.
In this ceremony, we present the honours of Scotland and the Elizabeth sword to our King,
entrusting you to defend our laws and to uphold justice and peace in our land.
In receiving this sword, I so promise by God's help.
By the symbol of this sceptre, we pledge our loyalty, entrusting you to seek the prosperity of this nation, the Commonwealth, and the whole earth.
In receiving this sceptre, I so promise by God's help.
Brandon, hereditary bearer of the Crown of Scotland, presents it to the King.
By the symbol of this crown, we pledge our loyalty, entrusting that you reign as our King in the service of all your people.
In receiving this crown, I so promise by God's help.
what does the Lord require of you but to do justice and to love kindness and to walk humbly with your God? May God give us grace to follow in this way.
All right, CNN News 18, Sanjay Suri joins me live with the latest. Sanjay, you were very closely tracking the coronation that took place in May as well. That one was hit by the rain, playing spoil sport, where the fly past was also somewhat cut back. How was today's event in Edinburgh?
Well, it's quite a shadow of that other event, even though rain clouded over. This is really an event that has not aroused a great deal of interest in England or Wales or Northern Ireland by the looks of it, and more worryingly, perhaps not even a huge amount of interest in Scotland itself. And other than the venue where the event took place, we had quite thin crowds lining that Royal Mile from Edinburgh Castle to St Giles Church where the ceremony took place. And this is really a political underlining to this event. It's a ceremonial event and it's a historical event. This crown was first worn by Mary Queen of Scots back in 1543, and that of course was the time when Scotland and England were different countries. The two united only in the year 1707. Now there is a problem, and it's a deep political problem that this event has been trying in some way to bridge, because the government in power in Scotland is the Scottish National Party that wants separation from England. It wants Scotland as an independent nation, and it's in majority, it is in government, and they don't care much for England, never mind a monarchy. And so this was an event to try and bridge the gap, to show that there is one monarch and that the Union of 1707 stands. But of course, we have seen not a great deal of interest in this, and in fact a fair number of protests against monarchy by at least two groups.
All right, Sanjay, 70 years on, was this event on the same scale, considering the coronation in May was scaled down in the UK due to the cost of living crisis?
Well, this was always going to be a small event, and so it was. There was a procession from the Edinburgh Castle down to St Giles Church in the heart of Scotland, and the king and queen came down. Well, the princess and Prince of Wales came down, and then in a separate carriage you had the honours of Scotland being brought in, which are three objects principally: the crown, the sceptre, and the sword. This original sword, of course, is falling apart, and it was no good even for a ceremony, never mind fighting anyone. So this was really a ceremony involving the ancient crown and the sceptre, and we had a new sword called the Elizabeth sword. It's a brand new sword that was created for this occasion, and these honours were presented to King Charles. These were, of course, there for him, even if there had been no such ceremony. Such a ceremony was not mandatory, but this king clearly is using every single occasion he can for pomp and ceremony and to present a royalty and himself before the public.